Hello, hi everyone, welcome or welcome back. My name's Rachel. It's Editing Rachel. Different day, same sweater. Love this sweater. However, I applied way too much lip gloss because I was layering colors, and those lip glosses never do that. I don't know what crazy magic was happening, but it's only like that for the intro. I promise it goes away. I'm so sorry. It just is what it is. I'm not perfect. I'm trying. We're going to get better at making sure things are not amiss before we start filming, but it goes away. That's all I have to say. Nice to see you again. Bye. Today, I'm just winging it, and I wanted to talk about some products that I've accumulated that were disappointing to me. I think Buffalo Beauty Boy, Ted here on YouTube, in his title, it says like, I'm not mad. I want to preface this with, I'm not mad at any of these products. Some of them are beautiful products. They just didn't work for me. So if you want to hear more in depth to find out if maybe these products would be right for you or they're a miss for you as well, then I hope you'll stick around and keep watching. So yes, it is midday, and I really wanted to have a black smoky eye. The Olivia Palermo palettes have just been really speaking to me lately, and I was feeling it, and yeah, love the bright inner corner. I just love her shadows. I hope that it's showing up on camera as beautiful as it is in real life. I digress. Let's go ahead and jump in. I am going to start with skincare, and then we'll move to body care and then makeup. So the first skincare item I want to talk about is the Beauty Pie Japan Fusion Genius Lift Elixir. This won an Allure Beauty Best of Beauty award last year, and a lot of people rave about this just to kind of hydrate, plump, kind of tighten the skin a little bit. And I was so excited to try this. It was a free gift with purchase with my very first order with Beauty Pie. So I've had this a while. You can see that I have not used hardly any of that. It's because the fragrance, and I don't know if there's something else in this, it just makes my skin so angry, and it's not worth it for me to try to push through that. So I'm going to be regifting this to someone, but if you have very sensitive skin, I would err on the side of caution with this, although a lot of people really love this. So if you have, normal resilient skin, this is probably a game-changing product, especially before makeup application. I see a lot of people use it there, sometimes at night as well. It's just, I was very sad. Like I said, I'm not mad, I'm just sad that it's not for me, but who knows, it could be for you. And their serums are just priced so well. So yeah, first dead. She's gonna go to a better home. Then the next one is also from Beauty Pie. This has a few products from Beauty Pie, and it does not take away from how much I love them and how much the products I talked about in my very first Beauty Pie video, those really are my everyday products. I love the company. I love everything about it. It's just these didn't work for me. The next one is the Oxygen Instant Facial Refueling Mask with oxygen and salicylic acid. This was user error, but it was scarring enough that I'm terrified to try it again. I will try this again. So that's a final verdict on the first one. This one, I'm not sure about. What happened was, you can use this as a quick mask, or a lot of people use it as their nighttime moisturizer to like let that fully kind of sit and do its work. I don't know if there's fragrance in this, but it has hydrogen peroxide. And instead of being a smart consumer and testing this or doing it for just a minute or two and working my way up, I left it on all night, and my skin, she revolted. She was very pissed off at me, pardon my language. She was not having it. So I'm terrified to try this again. I might, but I just don't know if I'm willing to potentially sacrifice irritating my skin. But yeah, a lot of people swear by this, especially if you have acne. So again, it could be a perfect product for someone else. It's just not. I need to remember to mute my Slack notifications. It could be like a life-saving product for you. So we'll see if I get the strength to try this again before passing it along to someone else. Okay, I'll do the one last product from Beauty Pie in the skincare category, and it is the Super Healthy Skin Hot Oil Double Cleansing Balm. This was like one of the main reasons I was interested in Beauty Pie, was to potentially replace my Clinique Take the Day Off Balm, because that's my very favorite cleanser, and so I really wanted to love this. And what drew me to it is my spatula is still in there. If you can see the texture, it is like a very thick balmy oil, whereas Clinique Take the Day Off Balm is that almost like crumbly texture. That's what I'm getting at. This is not crumbly at all. It is very almost like honey-like. Let me see if I can give you a good shot. And what I love about that is that it's not going to break down into clumps like Clinique Take the Day Off Balm does. That's my one hang up with that product, is it leaves clumps. If you don't fully massage them all in, it can leave clumps in the sink. It just can be messy. So I was really praying for this. What's interesting is they call it a hot oil double cleanse because there's an ingredient in here that will warm on contact and as you massage it. Either I'm just running hot all the time, or that ingredient doesn't matter to my skin. It never warmed up for me, and that was kind of disappointing. But the texture of this was not my favorite. It's because I'm used to the Clinique cleanser, which breaks down into a very thin oil. This kind of, you really have to massage more. You have to be into giving facial massages. I don't have time for that. I wish I did. I wish I was someone who could take the time to do that, but it's not me. So this could be for a lot of people. It just wasn't for me, and I was very disappointed. But their Japan Fusion cleanser, that is like a gel to oil to milky cleanser, that is what I love, and has replaced Clinique Take the Day Off Balm and gets rid of all of that kind of like messiness that I didn't like from the Clinique. So while this was a disappointment, I was able to find something better. So I'm going to be passing this one along to a friend. Then lastly, in the skincare category, I didn't want to make a dedicated video to this because I have a lot of thoughts around this product, but it is the K-Skin Broad Spectrum SPF 55 sunscreen. It's their universal mineral face lotion. I was so excited to try this. I am nearing the end of my Dr. Dennis Gross. I wanted to find something that could potentially work for a lot of different skin tones. The Dr. Dennis Gross is amazing. It's my holy grail sunscreen, if we still use that terminology, but it can be white casty even on me, and I am damn near about the shade of paper on any given day without bronzer. So I wanted to love this, but this was so bizarre, and I want to caveat that with, if this doesn't happen to everybody and it does work for deeper skin tones, I'm totally fine to say that this is an amazing product texture wise and would recommend it to deeper skin tones. However, there's like a whole saga around this. So I ordered this in the Sephora sale. I was very excited to get it in. I also ordered her lip balm. That is in my favorites video, hands down best lip SPF I've ever tried. Will continue to purchase that. But this, I saw Kate review it, but I hadn't seen a lot of other people review it, and she noticed that there was like a slight tint to it that was like greenish yellow. And I thought, maybe it's just something with her skin. I can't wait to get mine in, try it. My husband is not very like makeup minded. He'll tell me that I look nice, of course, but he's not overly noticing like small things. He doesn't typically comment on details of what I have going on my face. We went out to dinner to pick up food, like just pick it up and take it home the other night, and we stood outside and kind of like power washed a corner of our driveway just to test our power washer out, and didn't say anything, nothing. Then we get in the car, we drive to this place, and we go up to the counter, and I talk to this woman at the counter, and the wait was too long, so we're like, okay, we'll just go somewhere else. Well, we step outside, and my husband looks at me, and he was like, did you put something green on your face? And I had tested it a time before, and it did leave a couple spots underneath makeup that looked a little green, and I just figured that it was like small spots that maybe I hadn't rubbed in very much. So I was like, no big deal. We start making plans to like go sit down at a restaurant. And then I get in the car. Y'all, my whole face was green. Down to my neck, which I will say, I posted about this on Instagram. I'll insert some pictures here. We were dying. My husband and I were dying. And I just don't know what ingredient is in this that makes it that color. And what's crazy is I've tested it a few times just to see, and like the tint that comes out on it is like, yeah, normal skin tinted, you know, SPF. But then you rub it in and you let it sit. Oh, I don't know what happens. I'm going to leave this on and we'll see if it does it. You can see a tiny bit of the hint, like that hint of color, but we'll see later on in the video. But I will insert photos. Moral of the story, they took this off the Sephora site, although they're still offering a mini as like a free gift. And they also on Kskin Instagram were talking about that they were looking into this because multiple customers were coming out with it. But I want to reiterate again, if this is only happening on very light skin tones, I am fine with an SPF being more geared towards a deeper skin tone and just not being for me. The texture of this is lovely. It sits on the skin nice. It's just that color changing thing. But I still love her brand. The branding even of this packaging is so chic. The lip SPF that I have, absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I'm going to pass this around to see if it happens on some of the other people in my life. And then I don't know what we're doing with this, but I will be watching closely to see if this gets reformulated. Would love for this to be my SPF. I apologize. The allergies in my throat, they're really getting to me, and my hair's doing her own thing. I don't know. I wanted to turn a look today, and she's getting on my nerves. All right, that aside, moving into body care next, the Olive and June Heal Balm Overnight Treatment with Sunflower and Meadow Foam. I am an Olive and June stan. There are so many products that I love, and then there are just two that really missed the mark for me. One is the hand serum I'll talk about in my upcoming empties, and I touched on in my hand and nail care video. But this, you're going to be able to see just from looking at it. Let me see if I can get it to focus. This is the messiest foot balm ever. And it was cold. It was very cold here when I was trying to use it. I cannot stand this. I need something that's going to sink in or create kind of almost like a silicone-y balm over my foot. The oil, I wish, because I'm sure that this is super moisturizing, but I couldn't stand it on my feet, even with like those foot conditioning socks that have the gel inside to like help lock things in. This was just a miss for me, and there's so much left. I'm gonna see if anyone in my life is in the market for something like this or wants to test it. It also just smells like wax in the ingredients, which would be fine. It's on your feet, who cares? There's almost a hint of citrus in there. But yeah, so messy. So messy. Cannot be bothered to try this again. Super sad because, again, Olive and June is one of my favorite hand care companies, is my favorite hand care company. The next thing in the same vein is from Beauty Pie as well. It is the Photopia Super Softening Foot and Heel Cream with shea butter, cactus enzymes, and microbiome plus. She looks like this. Now this is the texture I want on my foot, and I don't know if that's true or not. It's definitely closer than that last product. It is just a cream, and Beauty Pie makes like such great moisturizers. It feels thick, but as you can see, it rubs in really nice, and it also has that property that a lot of the Beauty Pie lotions have, where it feels like water on contact. So you get that kind of hit of hydration, and then you can tell that there are occlusive ingredients in here that are going to then lock that in, so it's able to penetrate and then stick around. My problem with this is that I had such high expectations. This product works, it'll moisturize your feet, but does it like totally renew them? No. Is it the best foot cream I've ever used? No. And I kind of wanted it to be. All the reviews were like, it's life-changing. It has urea and a couple other things in it that are just supposed to like really help kind of exfoliate in a very, very gentle way, but also just drive in moisture and help heal like cracked heels. And you can see like that skin looks radiant, especially next to my, okay, there we go. We'll get to that. But you can tell it looks very radiant. It's just, if you need heavy duty on your heels like I do, this is not going to be enough. I will use this up, but I was just disappointed, especially after reading all of these comments that said it was a game changer. And then Dr. Dre always says urea is the best ingredient, especially in a foot cream. So this was my bad because my expectations were like, this is going to give me new feet, and it just barely moisturized. We're going to take a quick break here before we get into hand care because you can see that it's starting to turn. Not as much as what my face looked like, but I don't know what I'm dying to know what that ingredient is. Anyway, on to hand care. I talked about these two products in my hand and nail care video. They are the London Town Cuticle Cream, Cuticle Gel. I'm going to demonstrate. Give me 1 second because this clicking is probably going to be really irritating. Okay, I mentioned that they were messy in that video. I want to show you why. Can you see how they come out? Let me see if I can rotate this guy. They come out like that, and when you put them on, the applicator is just so odd on this one and this one really, because they're flat and they're bendy, but not in the way to like properly get your nails, if that makes sense. Like it just smears it around and it doesn't really get into like the crevices, and then you're left with a lot of product on your cuticles. It's just the puff on the Olive and June allows for more control. So the juice is great. The packaging is where I have a problem with these, but I will say London Town brand for hand and nail care is quickly becoming my favorite over Olive and June. The packaging, I love the different products that they offer. I love, they have a nail scrub, which is great if you have cuticles that grow onto your nail. I just love them, but these, I wish they would rethink either the packaging or, yeah, the packaging, it's the tips. And then the next one I'll talk about is the London Town Cure Restorative Nail Cream. So I used to use a very small pot that came in a gift set of the Deborah Lippmann nail cream, and that one really changed the health of my cuticles, and it sticks around, and it was almost like what I do now, but in one step. So what I do now is put an oil on my cuticles and then put a hand cream over it to lock it in. The Deborah Lippmann was like the oil and the hand cream in one, so I was really hoping that that's what this would be. Again, I think the Deborah Lippmann just had like a thicker texture, which this is very thick. You can see from the peaks that kind of hang around on the cap. Smells very, very lovely. Smells like a clean manicure, if that makes sense. It's like citrusy, a little floral, some creaminess in there, but it's great. It's just, again, very messy. I'll demonstrate on this cuticle. So if I take just a little bit like I would with the Deborah Lippmann and I put it on and then I rub this in, it leaves behind, like I have to work very hard to get it to rub in, and it leaves behind like crud around my nail bed. And that bothers me. I know that that's not going to bother a lot of people. If that wouldn't bother you, if you don't have like a hard gel polish or something that creates more of a divot there, I would recommend this all day long. But for me, I wish it would rub in a little bit more and maybe be a little bit thicker, because it thins out quite a bit more than the Deborah Lippmann. But yeah, I don't want to disparage this company. I love this company. I'm hoping Ulta expands how much they're carrying on their site. I will continue to repurchase the cuticle oil from them and the hand cream, the nail scrub. There's a lot that I would purchase from this brand, but these just missed the mark for me. All right, moving into makeup. The first one is the Lineage Lip Glowy Balm Gummy Bear. This is why this is a disappointing product to me. the scent of this. You know, I like to sniff things here on my channel. It smells like a gummy bear, or like candy from your childhood. Is the best smelling lip product that I own. Where this misses the mark for me is I don't think the Lineage lip products really moisturize my lips. I get more nourishment from In Beauty, from Fit Glow, from Pat McGrath lip glosses. Like now the Olivia Palermo and the Auric, there's just so many options out there that do truly like moisturize your lips and leave them better off, which as a very dry person, I need. These just like don't really do anything. Burt's Bees does more for me. I don't know what that is. I wish I had the answers. I'll continue to use this because it smells absolutely great, but just disappointed. I wanted to heal my lips too. Is that too much to ask? Or someone else come out with a scent similar, you know? Share the love. Also, I swear that these look equal and blended in real life. I think it's the way the light is hitting. Just don't come for me, please. Anyway, the next item is the item by Addison Ray Concealer. This has been a journey. I thought one of the foundations I was trying to dupe my current foundation with was causing my breakouts. And then I made the decision to just go back to Chantecaille, so I wasn't introducing anything new, as well as Kosas all over my face to just eliminate the possibility of whatever it was. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I loved how bright this made my inner corners. I will use this as a full coverage eyeshadow base. This is what's been breaking me out, because I broke out in one of the last videos you'll see, literally on my eyelid, which is like, I have hormonal acne, I have PCOS. I know the areas that I am breaking out in all the time. My eyelid is not one of them. My forehead really isn't either. My eyelid never breaks out. So by process of elimination, I did the investigation. It was this concealer. Bums me out because I love the coverage. I love it as an eyeshadow base, but I'm hoping I can find someone that can use such a light shade. Who knows? But I'm so sad because this is a very affordable concealer. Not very affordable, but in Sephora pricing $18 for this much product. It's very hefty. I can't be walking around with extra breakouts. I have enough of that from my lovely hormones, you know? Next up is the Kat Von D Good Apple foundation. So I would say out of all of these products, this is my final decision on them, outside of maybe that oxygen mask if I'm ever brave enough to test it again. This I might give one more go, but how this broke up on my skin and made me this is what I'm talking about when I was like, I had curdled skin in my videos. It looked beautiful for the first hour. And then from that period on, my skin looked crazy. So if you have tried this and you have experienced that and you have tips, let me know. I want to give it one more go, but more than likely, this is a pass for me. And I'm very sad because the promise of like a fuller coverage balm foundation on the days I want to be very glam, but I don't want to be matte. I don't like to be matte. I was really hoping this would be the ticket. I just don't think she is. But if you have tips, let me know. Happy to try again. And then last product is one that breaks my heart, and I'm probably going to upset some people, and I hope that that is not the case, because I want to caveat this with, it has nothing to do with the formula. It has everything to do with my preference in color and formula. That's it. And this brings me to a good point, that this is why I do my seasonal wish lists, so that I can plan in advance and make sure something is really worth the price for me. And this turned into a last minute Sephora sale grab because I thought I would be over the moon, and I'm just not. And it is the new Patrick Ta Rose palette. His mattes are incredible. They're beautiful. I have the first palette and I will cherish that thing forever. It was on my wish list for this summer so that I could create a nice bronzy look. When I saw this color story, I was like, yes, these are the colors that I wear. I'm very excited. These, you can see that I've worn this a few times. These like celestial type shades, they're going to be, I think, very polarizing. Either you love the look that they give or they're just not for you. I'll swatch one. It's gonna have to be in a weird area because that sunscreen swatch. I don't know if it's going to translate on camera. They're very pretty. They really are. But once you've already laid down a shadow and you're topping it with these, it comes out as just like weird flecks. And I've created a lot of the looks that I thought I would be using this palette for, and it's just not quite for me. And then if you look at the mattes, while the formula is absolutely beautiful, I tend to like a more violet toned kind of rosy mauve. This is definitely more kind of like warm brownish rose, which probably looks beautiful on a lot of people. It's just not the preferred color palette for me. So this was a miss for me, and that makes me very sad because I love Patrick Ta. I love everything else I have from him, and I love the first palette. It's just what it boils down to is the color is not for me, and when I'm going for a high impact shadow, I would almost rather use like the Victoria Beckham Lid Luster, the Olivia Palermo palettes, Pat Mcgrath. They're just not my very favorite. So yeah, I'm probably rehoming this guy. I'm so sad. This is why I do wish list, because I wouldn't have walked into this purchase without truly knowing that it was for me. One day I'll be a real adult and stick to my guns, but yeah, sad. I very much so wish I knew what my hair was trying to do today. This is what happens when you come to a point in your life where you're like, I will just let her do what she wants, but then you have days where she's doing what she wants and you just don't really appreciate it. Anyway, that wraps up my first attempt at sharing with you products that I'm not sitting in a video saying, this is amazing, I would recommend. Not every product works out for me. I do try to rein in my spending and purchase products that I have like honed in on the fact that I know that they will perform well for me and they are meant for me. Again, these are not bad products, they're just not meant for me. Everyone's skin is so very different. I happen to have very sensitive skin, so these could be your holy grail product. I hope that I'm explaining why they didn't work for me in a way that you can determine like if it wouldn't work for you, if it sounds exactly what you need. If you have any questions about any of these, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. Love talking to everybody about products, fashion, what's going on. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. I hope that you have an amazing, loving day, and I will see you in the next one.